You're listening to Central Global News podcast, where we provide you with a short summary of the most important news from all around the world every week. This week, we're focusing on the aftermath of last week's riots in the United States Capitol and COVID vaccination programs in Europe. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has asked Vice President Mike Pence to act in order to remove Donald Trump from office for his role in the storming of the Capitol last Wednesday. Pelosi urged the Vice President to invoke the 25th Amendment, which would declare the President unfit for office for encouraging his supporters not to accept the results of the presidential elections, which led to riots and the death of 5 people, including a U.S. Capitol Police officer. Mr. Pence has not yet made a public statement on the issue, but he is said to oppose the idea. However, he has already made steps to distance himself from Donald Trump by announcing that he will attend Joe Biden's inauguration ceremony on the 20th of January, unlike Mr. Trump, who is not willing to attend. If Mr. Pence refuses to invoke the amendment, the House will hold a vote to impeach the president, according to Ms. Pelosi. This would make Donald Trump the only president in U.S. history to have been impeached twice. Since the events of last Wednesday, Donald Trump has been banned from several social media platforms, including Twitter, which he often used for making official statements. Several politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, are blaming him for urging his supporters to march on the Capitol. During the riots, the president released a video asking the crowd to go home, but he still refused to withdraw his baseless claims about vote fraud and the stolen election. Meanwhile, investigations to prosecute rioters have started. At least 25 domestic terrorism cases have been opened. Allegedly, active duty and reserve military members were involved in the storming, as well as off-duty police officers from Virginia and Washington, who have since been placed on administrative leave. European countries have started vaccinating people against COVID-19, with many complaining about a slow start. In the EU, there is central coordination of strategy and buying vaccines in bulk, but the member states decide who, where, and when gets the vaccine. In Germany, people over 80 and care home workers get to vaccinate first. The vaccinations began 2 weeks ago, and by Thursday evening, more than 477,000 people have received the first dose. The government claims that the vaccination program will be completed by the end of the summer. Spain started administering the vaccine on the 27th of December. Since then, about 280,000 people have been vaccinated. The government is aiming to immunize 2.3 million people within 12 weeks. The residents and workers of care homes and healthcare professionals are given priority. The government received criticism for planning to make a register of those who do not wish to get the vaccine, even though vaccination is voluntary. According to the government, this is only to clarify the reasons why people do not want to be vaccinated. In France, the vaccination program got up to a slow start. By Friday, only 45,500 people have received the first dose, even though the country has over 1 million more Pfizer doses already in storage. This is blamed largely on the bureaucracy and vaccine skepticism in the country. In Russia, more than 1 million people have already been vaccinated last week. However, the population is largely skeptical about the country's own Sputnik vaccine, and the fact that Vladimir Putin has not yet got the first dose might raise more suspicion. On Friday, the EU Commission decided to buy an extra 300 million doses for EU countries of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. This means that the EU would get nearly half of the firm's global output for 2021. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week.